Hi guys, welcome to another episode of J1D. This week we're talking about the squat again. So this week's topic is our favourite squat variation. So this is what we believe is our favourite movement to generally improve the squat. So Dylan, first up.
So usually
you've got one that a lot of people kind of shit on pretty
hard. It's talked about as like, oh, why do you need that? You don't need that sort of movement. It's, there's so many other better movements. It's like, well, yeah, there are better movements. There are other movements, but we're talking about the leg press. I love the leg press. I always have it straight after squats, or maybe one exercise after that, after squats. Yep. The reason why I love it is not because you can load the shit out of it. I never load the shit out of it. I put on 3-4 plates aside, and which is fuck all weight-wise. But that's all I need for my stimulus. The way I use the leg press is it takes a lot of load off the lower back. You don't have to worry about bracing your shoulders back the whole time. There's no load through your spine, and it's more about brute force through the legs. Even saying all that as well, you can still learn to brace through the leg press. So usually I won't just go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll start where it starts and then come down nice and slow whilst bracing hard into my belly as you would like a squat or a deadlift even.
Yeah.
And then just press up with good force, nothing like loose.
Yeah, nothing silly, nothing like throwing it, just like, I guess you'd say with intent.
Yeah, like you're not trying to go from A to B as fast as you possibly can. It's about having that movement pattern, tracking your knees in the similar spot to what you would with a deadlift or your squat, depending on how wide you stand. So usually I stand relatively wide in a squat. I'll bring that a bit closer, but not as close as my deadlift, unless I'm using the leg press as a deadlift exercise. But this is all based around the squat. Yeah. So yeah, I have it in between that sort of squat and deadlift foot placement, and I don't point my toes out as much. It is targeting the quads a little bit more, but having the feet up a little bit higher does get the hamstrings and glutes a bit as well. But yeah, like it is a great movement. It is a very useful tool. It's not always like, oh, I can load the shit out of it.
Yeah. You can load the shit out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Just sometimes, but here for reps.
But like if you're squatting 400, you don't want to load, 1,000 plates either side on the leg press, that's just not a fun time.
Yeah.
But I personally love it. I always get a good pump out of it. It feels great on my knees. Like if you've ever had bad knees, the leg press does help still get everything moving and get good stimulus to your thighs. Yeah. Like I said as well, if you've got a bad lower back, it does help as well.
Yeah. So it's a good way to throw some extra leg volume in there without fucking up the rest of your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's something I feel like a lot of people overlook is for a large number of people, legs aren't gassing out the squat. It's either technical or they're losing it because of back position, lower back position, hips. Like those smaller muscle groups, like your quads and hamstrings are generally powerful enough to still give something when you get out of the squat. So I use it as well, use it on a regular basis. Literally did it yesterday after squatting. Like it's fantastic movement. There's a few different ways you can vary it. Like Dylan was also about using it as a deadlift accessory movement. I've used it against bands just to increase kind of some more of that end sort of range power, stuff like that. So yeah, super useful movement, and it's super versatile. Like you can do it in nearly any part of it. Like you can be a hypertrophy block movement, strength block movement, peaking block movement. Like it's
Like I'll use it year round. I'll use it in my hypertrophy, conditioning, strength, peaking as well. Like it is great all around. So don't shit on it. Use it properly, and you will reap the rewards.
Yeah. So for me, my favorite squat variation is actually safety bar squat, and I know that lots of people hate safety bar squatting because it feels like shit. That's
what it does.
It does a lot of the time. But once you kind of get used to it, you get to feel a lot better. I feel like most of that's based around the way people brace for it. But the reason why I love it is because it's a movement that you can load up heavy and get through a good range of motion. And it's not really a movement that you can cheat. It's not something where you can like throw your hips back, reduce range of motion. It's not something that you can kind of drop into hard and explode out of. Because if you try and sit back hard, the weight set out in front of you, it's going to roll you. Like, if you drop into it hard, the weight set forward, it's going to roll you. Like, you need to stay tight and brace through the movement. You need to control it, but you can get heaps of depth with it. Push up powerfully with your legs. It's going to give you good stimulus to your legs, to your back. It's going to even help glutes pushing through. Obviously, with it being a bit in front of you, it's going to make it harder to push your hips through. Like, it's going to load up your erectors, especially if you are pushing it pretty hard and you're getting a little bit of roll in it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, as long as it's controlled, you're not moving into a point of danger. Like, getting that little bit of a pull forward that you have to resist and recreate good position, that's good. Because you know what? If you end up in competition and you end up hitting a squat, you come up and you lose a bit of position, being strong enough to force yourself back up and finish the lift, that's awesome.
So you're kind of training that little bit at the same time.
Yeah, like you're training a lot of just the points of weakness in the lift.
All those little parts of the lift.
Yeah, and it's funny because something you brought up with the leg press as well is that it's not super technical, it's pretty basic in the way it moves, but it's just really, it's a brute force movement.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I like the safety bar squat in a relatively narrow stance. Like, throw on ollie shoes if you need, just to get that knee travel. Obviously with a narrower squat, and with the safety bar, you don't want to be throwing your hips back if you're a really like long femored sort of squatter, or if you've got just shit ankle mobility. So yeah, like just throw them on, learn to brace down and tight if you want to move weight. If you want something that's going to be a bit more specific to that sort of middle back sort of strengthening thing, push the handles up a bit, put yourself in a shit position. Like, make the brace a little bit less effective, because you know what, that's going to feel awesome. Like, it's just a versatile, kind of ticks a lot of boxes, heavy brute force developmental movement. It's not something that I would keep in year round. Like, I don't think it's something you want to be throwing in during a peaking block, just because it is going to beat up a lot of parts of your body. But you know what, hypertrophy or in a strength block, 100%, like absolutely fantastic movement.
It's probably not ideal to be using wraps in it as often either.
No, I wouldn't do it with wraps, like sleeves.
Yeah. I mean, there are obviously some...
There's going to be like specific circumstances.
Yeah.
You don't use the exception to the rule to set the rule. Yeah. Like, we're not saying you're wrong if you're using wraps with a safety bar, but we are saying that there's a chance that you might be.
Like, if you're trying to be comp specific, the safety bar in wraps is not the way to go.
Yeah. Like, it's... Like, most of the time, if you're actually losing it, it's not going to be your legs. Like, we were talking about this before with applying the leg press. If you're losing a safety bar squat, chances are it's your back going, not your legs. Just from experience with people using it. Like, I'm sure you've used it and like, it's like legs, fine. Like, back, oh crap. Like,
especially if you don't know how to brace with it properly.
Yeah, and that's something that I want to just quickly bring up. It's not, you don't want to brace it like a normal squat. You don't want to stand there, like pinch shoulder blades back, like try and take this type of position.
Yeah.
You want to hold onto the handles, relatively tight your body, and pull back and down.
You're dragging everything like nice and tight.
Yeah, try and think about bracing it like a deadlift. Like that brace position to deadlift, grab onto the safety bar, take that position, and you'll be much stronger to push up and back into that movement through up and back. So, yeah, absolutely rate it. I'd probably say best rep ranges for it are probably in the 5 to 8 sort of range. Not saying you can't, let's say, hit 3s with it or hit 10s with it, but probably want to spend most of your time in that 5 to 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely fantastic movement. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend leg press as long as you don't go stupid and try and slam as many plates on it as you can. Like, for you, like, what sort of rep ranges would you kind of recommend for a leg press?
For personally the leg press, because I do tempo sort of stuff. I mean, like, it's not my go-to thing, but the tempo is kind of nice after a heavy sort of squat session. Yeah. So I will keep that between 10 and even up to 15.
Yeah.
That's why I like having a lighter weight.
Yeah.
But then again, when I say 3 to 4 plates, is because our sled weighs 180 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah, Monster Mondo leg press, the sled itself is heavy. If you're talking about 3 to 4 plates, it's probably 6, 7, 8 plates everywhere else. And you know, I agree, like if I'm ever using it, it's generally in the 10 to 12, like sometimes I'll throw in an AMRAP. I think I've done like 18 an AMRAP or something, which sucked. Yeah, I like to load it up heavier than Dylan, but that's generally because I'm not squatting as much and I need to grow bigger.
Yeah, you gotta squat more.
Yeah, I need to get that hypertrophy stimulus. I'm not a horse waist down.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's not that naughty.
But yeah, guys, that's today's J1D. Please like, subscribe, comment, ask questions. Like we've got the Ask JD series we want to keep rolling because we really enjoyed that.
Had a good fun with that on the last one. So if you do have questions, feel free to comment and even message us directly if you
absolutely
if you can.
Yeah. And you'll get a cool shout out. We'll say your name and be like, "You're rad." So
also as well, my Big Dogs 4 prep has just started. I've just finished my first week, so we would like to get some sort of videos and progress up to that as well.
So that'll be a regular thing. We'll start getting the weekly progress reports up. We'll get some weekly lifts up as well, since our lifting will be less boring. You can also look forward to a improvement in sound and video quality in the near future.
Upgrading from the phone.
Upgrading from the phone, because this is actually going pretty well. Like we feel like we can really make a run at this.
This is good fun as well.
Yeah, we've also got another very short video that'll be going up soon with a little bit of an announcement. So we'll see you guys soon. Watch the other video of the announcement. Enjoy, guys.